Hey,
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
very good. You?
Yeah, good, good. Yes, I don't know what happened the other day.
I don't know. Everything shut down. So I cut my hair so you won't recognize me. I'm here incognito.
Yeah, yeah, bro. So yeah, I didn't know what happened. I tried to like log back onto the call and stuff, and it just didn't seem to connect. So I was just like, don't know.
I don't know. Well, just before it quit, it was your image was trying
Right.
was I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Anyway, it's all good.
So how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. Yeah, yeah. Like just
Yeah.
really busy, really excited for the record. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, just getting through it. Yeah, busy.
Yeah, your record's coming out in 2 days.
Yeah,
Um, it's getting more and more the day the day. How do you feel just before the release of the album?
tired. No,
Tired?
no. Honestly, we're really excited. Yeah, like we've never sat on. Usually, once you record a record, you kind of sat on it for a long time, waiting for it to sort of. You like kind of waiting for it feels like forever till it comes out. This time, it feels like it's been a bit quicker. I don't know if that's lockdown or whatever, but like it's not been finished that long, and it feels really fresh for us still. We're still buzzing on the record and yeah, it feels good to be getting it out there. Definitely stoked for people to hear it and hear the collaborations in there and just what's going on for us and sort of to start the new chapter of While She Sleeps, I guess.
Yeah. Is it for you a new chapter, or it's the continuity of the chapter that was there before?
A little bit of both, I think. Um, I feel like we always want to carry a similar message to our records that's sort of very apparent at our live shows. We always want to come out of our albums and take to our live shows something like a really positive attitude, like a lot of positivity that people can take from our songs. Um, and we really stand for unity. That's something that's always been really apparent with us from the early stages. We don't want to put ourselves here and people that listen here. It's always been about that sort of leveling out and just we're one of the dudes. We're the guys from the end of your street that started a band, and we're still trying to rock it out in that way. And yeah, it's just that's just something that's always been there. The sense of community's never really left this band, and that's what keeps us striving in a ever changing industry. I think we just really pushing for a lot of unity amongst people, positive energy, and we want to take that to a live show.
Yeah.
This album in particular, though, I feel like almost like we're speaking from a slightly different perspective. Um, I think the best way to summarize the album is the track "Pie," which is an interlude on the new album. And the abbreviation means "place your attention inward." And I feel like that's what we've done with the lyrical content of this record. Usually, we're speaking from kind of a political sense and a sense of like the world's a pretty fucked up place, but we're all in this together, so let's celebrate that anyway and be unified in that, along with other things. But I think with this record, it's coming from a place that's a bit more inward, and we're talking about our own personal experiences and hardships and struggles through, I guess, we're trying to find balance and appreciating, what we have and who we are as individuals, as well as sort of how that plays out. Um, yeah, how that sort of comes out of us in a band sense. So, I think those messages as well at the moment, like, feel more apparent now than when we started to write these songs. I think as these messages as the demos have grown into finished songs, and as we've taken the lyrics and sort of moved through a pandemic, it feels even more apparent now that these messages are very much needed and important for a lot of people. So hopefully people relate to them in that way as well.
Yeah. Let's talk about Sleep Society, the song. I
Yeah.
didn't know you guys before I got, hey, you want the interview with While She Sleeps? Yeah, I'll go check them out.
All right.
And I saw the video. My fucking jaw dropped. What the fuck is that? I
Yeah.
said, fucking right, I want.
Yeah.
What an amazing song.
Thank
Um,
you, bro.
a kick-ass song. Everybody, even people that don't relate to heavy metal, or they can find something in that song that's whoa.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, definitely.
how do you feel about that song?
I feel like, you know, coming straight out of the gate, coming out with the message that we wanted to deliver with that song is we just wanted to highlight, you know, how difficult it can be for artists and musicians. You know, 95% of music at the moment is streamed, and over the last 20 years, that's changed so much. Like 20 years ago, most of the music was physical. So that's changed the industry so much. And we don't necessarily feel like the way that the industry is ran or what happens within the industry has necessarily, you know, changed to move with the times, you know. So it can be a very difficult place. Our main concern is like how do bands, like mainly underground genres, like your punk bands, your hardcore, you know, your rock, you know, not your Justin Biebers that are just absolutely killing it and cleaning up, you know, that are hugely mainstream, but more like the lifeblood of like these genres. Like, how do they balance the demand with not really getting the payback from streaming services? You know, it's a bit of a weird juxtaposition to be in. So we just wanted to address that and take that to our fan base. And, you know, once again, our fan base reacted positively. I think a couple of albums back, we released an album through a pledge campaign, released the record You Are We, and that was fully pledged. And that was a bit of a nail-biting time for us. We didn't really know how our fan base was going to react, if anyone gave a fuck to the point of supporting it. And actually, it was the opposite. Like, so many people sort of came to this out, like the campaign, and like, yeah, just chucked us the money and got us to the point of being able to release this record in this way independently with no label. And that was insane for us. So I guess Sleep Society, the single, and, you know, using that to release this album is a new way of us working all together, where we needed to say something important. We felt like we were the band that could say it. We felt like we had the loyal fan base that could stand by us with it and understand where we were coming from. And so far it seems to be doing the right thing. So with that in mind, we needed a song that represented everything that we were trying to push for and against it with that song. So I think straight from the word go, you know, it hits hard, you know, even from the synth parts at the beginning. It's just catches your ear, and then it goes in hard with the message, you know. It's like it's basically saying, this is a new chapter. It's the start of something new. We need to be together if we're going to make the changes. And so this record's basically moved on from there. I agree with what you say. It's a hard hitting song. I think in the way that it represents this album is, I think that within that song in particular, there's something for everybody. If you like screams, that's in there. If you like clean vocals, it's in there. If you like hardcore, punk rock, metal, all the genres are sort of all in there. And I've been saying on a few of these interviews, I think that if you're not a genre snob and you're open to whatever genre music is, I think this, and you're into these, you know, metal, punk rock, hardcore, I think there's something in our record for you, for sure. So yeah, that's kind of how it all came about, if you like, and the message that we're trying to deliver. And just, we wanted to open up with a real attention grabbing song, I guess.
Yeah, well, it is. You were talking about in the old days when bands were selling records and selling. Do you regret being in the music industry now? That like 20 years ago, all of you guys would have been way more rich. And you know, no, but it's true. Even though you're not selling millions and millions of records, you were selling, I don't know, 100,000 records or 200,000 records, and you would be good for a couple of years, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
But now you have to work every fucking day.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, for me personally, I've never really been this passionate about anything else I've ever done for this amount of time. It's like the only thing that I've put this much energy into. So for me, you know, no matter what the industry was dishing out, I guess, as long as it was sustainable in some way, then I'd be into doing it. Even like, even taking my band and myself out of the equation, like I still put on gigs in my hometown to make sure that we have rock and metal bands coming through, like Doncaster, where I'm from. And I still put together my own festival. I did that for a couple of years. It lost a lot of money, but I enjoyed doing it, you know. So it's something that's just definitely like runs through my blood. It's something that as soon as I was a part of that community, you know, as soon as I was getting punched on the back of the school bus for wearing a Slipknot hoodie, you know, as soon as I was drawn into the community that metal has, I've been with it, you know. It's never really left me. So yeah, I guess that's one thing that I just feel like it's just a part of me, no matter what state the industry's in. But also, you know, we're lucky to do what we do, like no matter what. And yeah, I just think that the music industry is just changing so much, and there needs to be more bands that kind of stand up and drop the smoke and mirrors and the rock and roll star act and just kind of go to its fan base and say, look, this is the position that we're in as a band. We recognize that we need our fans, you know, and that's something that we've always done. We've always wanted to drop the smoke and mirrors and just tell it how it is and just be those down to earth guys that just play in a band, you know. That works well for us. People relate to us, people relate to the message, and they relate to us being straight up with them, you know. Obviously there's other bands that wouldn't work for, and it's all about the mystery. But I don't necessarily regret being born in this time, but I'd also love to go back to the 70s and do it all properly. but yeah, it's cool, man. Like, it's a cool roller coaster, and I feel like While She Sleeps is one of those bands that we have a very strong DIY punk rock ethic, which means we're not scared of a bit of elbow grease and going that extra mile, you know. I think that if we weren't that band, then we might have been crushed by now. But I think our staying power is down to how we see change in the industry, and we quickly react to sort of counter what's going on. And we work hard to make it sustainable for us. But it's definitely fun, and I wouldn't want to be doing anything else.
Yeah, I saw that every band are releasing LPs nowadays with colored LPs and stuff like that. Do you think it's cool that it comes back, that people want to buy LPs? Because I had LPs 20 years ago, and I just lend them to I'm going to give it to you. But now I'm starting back to buying LPs, and it's kind of fun. And I in my head, I said, fuck, that was so fun. It's fun even for you to release an LP.
Yeah, for sure. I think that, for a while, CD was that physical thing. You'd go to your record shop, grab a CD, and like, you'd get home, you'd open the booklet, you'd read what was going on in there, read who the band are working with, who they're thanking, read all the lyrics and stuff. And I guess for a little while that off kilter between everything going onto, streaming and iPhone or whatever and moving format kind of put a bit of a void in there where, it didn't really feel like CDs and cassettes were that collectible. And I think that's why it went back to vinyl, because it's a bigger bigger physical copy. You've got a really cool vinyl to pull out the sleeve, and now people are doing like color vinyls and splatter vinyls with like gnarly colors on, and the imagery is a lot bigger. It's just, you just really feel like you've bought a piece of the band, or you've bought a piece of merch that's really going to help the band out. I think it's awesome. I never collected vinyl before until like sort of 5 or 6 years ago when the boom kind of happened or whatever. And like since then, just been collecting on tours and grabbing them off other bands and stuff. I've only got a small collection, but I didn't even have a vinyl player and I was collecting vinyl, so I was a proper scene kid. just a wannabe vinyl collector. But I have got a vinyl player now, and it is a really nice thing. Even like the whole process of like picking up the needle and dropping it in, and just I don't know, just having it there on the side, playing the sounds is really good. It was really cool.
Yeah, everything that goes around comes around, eh?
Yeah, definitely. I've actually on Systematic, on the new record, it's the first record I've ever done any vinyl scratching on. So I actually like started trying to learn how to vinyl scratch. I'm terrible at it, but it actually sounds really great on the record. So it's all good.
That's cool though.
Yeah.
On this, what's the song there? You're talking. Wait, I had it here. Nervous.
Yeah.
The song. It's about mental issues and mental. How do you think people will come out of this pandemic
Yeah.
with their health, with their mental health? Because a lot of people are very, very down.
Yeah. I think there's a few different things that's sort of gone on for me with the pandemic. I actually lost a close friend of mine to suicide during the first pandemic, and that kind of got me to thinking, if he'd have had his close family or friends like more close to him and being able to interact with him, or he felt like he could open up and talk about it a bit more, would we be in a situation now where we wish he'd have been able to do those things, or that we'd have gone to him? So that was something that was really difficult for me to swallow, time to get over, and still is. Grief's a crazy thing, but yeah, so that was one thing. And then we moved further and further into the pandemic, and it's kind of like, I think that it can eventually work out to be a positive, because I think once people get their head around the fact that this might be the way that things are for a little while yet, it gives people more alone time to kind of figure out their own emotions and kind of figure out exactly how they feel. I'm not saying that it's a good thing by any stretch, but I think that people being slightly more isolated, it's giving people time to address certain things and find a bit of their own space away from social pressures that are naturally there. So I think in a way it could be a positive that people are opening up and starting to think about how the pandemic is playing on their own mental well-being. For me, like, it's all about playing live. It gives me the workout. It lets me sort of get rid of negative energy, and that chance to express myself really makes me feel like I've taken the weight off when I come off stage. So this has brought me to a place where I need to be, it's made me figure out that working out is really, really helpful for me. Just getting out, going on a run, or doing like a workout DVD, or like trying to play sports is definitely something that I figured out that I need for myself. So I think in a way I'm trying to say that, only being able to go out in a lockdown situation for your like daily exercise has actually taught me that I kind of need to be doing this day to day, regardless of a live show, and it's made me realize that, yeah, wicked. Like, now I know that I've got this thing that I need to be doing that helps me and my mental well-being. But I think also a difficult thing for people to grasp, especially in the UK, I've noticed is everyone's really, really het up and thinking about the end game, where it's like, well, when will the pandemic end? When will things go back to normal? And obviously, like, we all want that freedom back. But I think for me personally, I've been thinking about the smaller victories, the week to week, like, what have I done this week that's been really positive and really productive, rather than kind of waiting for the end of the pandemic, because then if you're waiting for the end, we could be here for years, It's
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
so I think, like, just focusing week to week and focusing on the small victories that you have is a crucially important thing.
How did you put yourself in your head that the next time you're going to be on stage, how are you going to feel about it? It's probably, oh my God, I'm going to go there and fucking.
I probably get to the first show of a tour, be like, I can't believe this shit's happening. Go far too hard on the first vocal and completely blow out my voice, and I'll spend the rest of the tour hating myself for going too hard for that first show. But no, yeah, it's a crazy thing. To think about what our mindset was like when we just had almost full freedom of going to any country and playing a show, compared to now. I kind of think it doesn't really comprehend that that's, before we had to fly home from the States on our last tour, we were just hugging people and shaking hands, and like before we even really knew what was going on. that just seems absolutely crazy now that we were just that care hugging people. Thanks for coming to the show, signing stuff, shaking hands, high fiving, in a sweaty punk rock like venue somewhere. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. But fingers crossed that we're going to get a grasp on this. Like UK seems to be rolling out the vaccine program pretty quickly, so we're probably all going to grow like third ears and shit, and like
yeah, you won't need a cell phone now. 5G's in the back of
so who knows what the end will be to all of that sort of thing. But we seem to be in a place where like the football league is kind of saying that they want full stadiums by August. And yeah, I don't know if they can have full football stadiums, then there's hope for festivals. Yeah, so we'll just have to see. But
yeah,
punk rock's a completely different vibe when you're all jumping and crawling on top of each other at a show, So
yeah, exactly.
We'll just have to see. But yeah,
it's not a punk rock show. It's not a good place to sit down with a cup of tea.
That might be what we're moving into. Who knows? We meet the distance between everybody at a rock show. Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks a lot for the time. And everything went well. You see, your internet is A1. And in 2 days, your album's coming out. Great album. And let's hope you're going to come to Montreal, because that would be amazing.
100%. Like Montreal's an unbelievably good place to play for us. Last time we were there, we sold out the show. People are so passionate out there at live shows and into our band. So we can't wait to be back, man, for sure.
Very good. We'll see you there.
Yeah, 100%.
Thanks a lot.
Stay safe, bro. Thanks for your time.
You too. Bye-bye.
Peace out.